Thank you for tuning in, everyone. This is Charlene live on the radio, and we're broadcasting from Las Vegas. We are at the Bitcoin and Crypto Takeover Summit in Las Vegas, hosted by none other than Raul Paul and the Real Vision crew here. Everybody's so excited. We're just getting started. Breakfast just wrapped up, and we've got the first session going on. And I just wanted to give you a briefing of what took place yesterday. The first session, it was amazing, guys. There was conversation between Raul Paul and Bill Kai, and Bill Kai is with Kite VC, and he is a venture capitalist now, and he funds a lot of big things. I didn't even know that he's a partner in Canva, and he's with so many name brand companies that kind of they call them the unicorns. Well, this is Charlene, and I just wanted to bring you news from Las Vegas, from the Real Vision Takeover. It's happening, guys, right here and right now. If you're not here, you don't worry. I'll bring you all the updates that you need to do. And you can follow me on Twitter. I've been tweeting about what's going on. Some key moments that came out of the first session last night was a couple of things that stood out to me. We were talking about the culture, tokenizing culture. We talk about tokenizing real estate. We talk about tokenizing almost anything of value. NFTs are big, but what if you can tokenize your good behavior? What if you can tokenize your culture? You want to people want to participate in your culture, they can tokenize that, and that's the next thing that's going to be big. And if you want to get into that right now, you can join me at the Utah Bitcoin Conference. That conference is going to be in April at the Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. We are right now we're in Vegas, but we are so excited to continue to have these conferences. One of the greatest things that you can do right now is get in. It's not too late to get involved in cryptocurrency. It's not too late to get involved in the movement. And it's not the movement, folks. The movement always seems like it has an end. With crypto and the digital age, it's just a passage into the future. There's no end in sight. We're going to be making big moves with cryptocurrency. Everything you do now, everything you're involved with is going to eventually be a part of the blockchain, whether it's your resume, whether it's your paying your taxes, buying and selling. Everything's going to be on the blockchain. You're going to be have to be involved in some way, so why not get in early and probably make some money on it? Of course, I'm not giving you guys investment advice. I'm just letting you know what's happening in the world and where you need to position yourself. A couple of key takeaways. As you know, right now the conversation was about everybody can now invest the dollar. You don't have to be a big wig, a big time venture capitalist like Bill to participate with the blockchain, in which with the shared economy, everybody can get their dollars worth in and become part of that shared economy. Communities can bring what is the value of the community that you're involved in. There's in the past, I kept saying we're entering into uh, the era of harnessing. We're not creating, and we're not building. We've already built, we've already created. Now we're harnessing. And what is left to harness? And people power, attitudes, behaviors. That's where this is going, folks. We're going to be harnessing the human ingenuity and the human creativity and the human expertise in different topics. And you can see that already. Like overnight, someone can pop up on Snapchat. They don't need an agent. They don't need to have a publicist like myself to promote them. And you can self promote. You can create your own persona. You can create your own economy. There's this idea that we're going to be taking money from the wealthy and building and distributing that, or redistributing wealth from the people with the money and giving it to poor people. But guess what, folks? You don't need to do that. You can create your own millions. Think about it. You can create your own economy. You can create your own wealth. There's nothing stopping you in this day and age, in this digital age. wealth creation is just $1 away. You can people have become millionaires overnight. I did a story in Tokens Magazine, the first edition of Tokens Magazine, about Eric Finman from Idaho. And Eric had gotten $1,000 from his grandmother, and he decided rather than spend the $1,000 because he was, going around mowing lawns, cleaning people's trash, and making a little money this way. And he was 14 years old. But his grandmother saw that he wanted to work and he wanted to earn, he wanted to build his own million, $1 at a time. And his grandmother gave him $1,000 to invest in his lawn care business. Well, what he did instead was he took that $1,000 and he put it into Bitcoin. And this was maybe 2016. Now, but 2 years later, Eric Finman became a millionaire because of that one investment in the Bitcoin. And this was back then. I mean, some of you, this is what, 2016. This is when that happened. But the fact is, his story inspires me, inspires a lot of people to really get involved. You never know. You put $1 in Bitcoin at one point, it could be valued $100 the next day. You never know. You could lose it too. So don't take my foolish advice and put your money into anything. I am not giving you financial investment advice. I'm just telling you what's happening out in the marketplace. So the next era, or the next phase of this digital movement and this era of harnessing, is we're harnessing the power of community. And what that means is there's value in your networks. There's value in the relationships you build with people, and people are starting to monetize that. Matter of fact, it's nothing new. If in the past, if you wanted to get a good job at a company, and you knew someone on the inside who worked for that company, you most likely could get a job there because you knew someone. It's like going up and filling out an application. It's and not knowing anybody in the company. It's much more of a uphill climb to get a position in it. So you wanted to get a job at Apple. If you know someone at Apple, especially someone in the department you'd like to work, it's more likely that you can get a job. So we've always been tokenizing or monetizing our relationships that we build with people in our community. But now you can do it on the blockchain. You can actually not only build relationships and monetize or tokenize those relationships with people that you know, but you can tokenize relationships with complete strangers that you meet on the metaverse. Or a lot of people have never met each other and they've done $1 million deals with each other. So this is not anything new. We're just talking about it in a new way. So in the past, everybody's leveraged their relationships. If you know someone at the bank, it's probably easier for you to get a loan when you want a loan. If you know someone that works in the health department, you can probably get someone's restaurant shut down. I've had that experience because one of the ladies who had a salon next to my restaurant, she knew someone in the health department, and she called the health department and complained about something that didn't really exist. And then they shut down one of my restaurants because she knew the director of the health department, and she didn't want me next to her salon. She wanted the space that I was in. So things like that. People always be leveraging their relationships, whether for good or for evil. In my case, well, one of my fellow tenants at the strip mall. But other things, like I'm leveraging relationships right now that I'm building with other people, getting into spaces and places and countries. I've traveled the world. I've met influential people, and those relationships are now starting to pay off. People know that they can call me if they want to know anything about cryptocurrency, if they want some free Bitcoins. Matter of fact, I forgot to tell you guys, you can get some free Satoshis, get some free Bitcoins from my favorite wallets by texting Charlene 801-299-9105. 801-299-9105. And when you text me, I will send you a link to my favorite wallets. You download those wallets, you set up an account, you deposit at minimum, whatever the minimum they ask for, and then they'll top you up with $25 in Bitcoins. Now, they're not topping you up with $25 in cash. They'll top you up with actually Bitcoins, because your Bitcoins can grow. Your cash doesn't grow. It does grow on tree because they print it from leaves, paper made with trees. But the Bitcoin itself has the potential to go on the upside. We are trading Bitcoin today. It took another dip 4% dip, 2% dip. It's a 47,000 US dollars to one Bitcoin. Now it doesn't matter if it's 50,000, 60,000, or 47,000. The point is, it takes that much money of US dollars for one Bitcoin. Now, there's no other currency in the world that trades at that level compared to what Bitcoin trades against the US dollar. So, whether people saying, oh, it's kind of like, okay, I have a guy who sells Bitcoins and he has a bunch of Bitcoin wallets that he sells. He's like a broker. And people always want to get Bitcoins from him because the rich people want to get Bitcoins, but they can't really get into it. And they can't really move their monies freely like us poor people. But the thing that my crypto guy, who, if you want to get a lot of Bitcoins, you text me too. I know a guy, and I know a guy who knows a guy who has Bitcoins to sell. But the thing with these people is they like, okay, I'm going to let you send me the Bitcoin and then I'll send you the cash. No, folks, you can't do that with Amazon. You can't say, okay, I'm going to go on Amazon and buy something and they send it to you and then you pay them later. No, you got to fork up your cash first and then you get the Bitcoins later in your wallet. So that's how it works. You deposit the cash in an escrow account, and this is how the brokers do it. Or you wire the money to them somehow, and then they send you Bitcoins to your designated wallet. So I know a guy who knows a guy. If you're looking into getting yourself some Bitcoins and you can't get it on an exchange because you have millions of dollars you want to spend. Thank you for tuning in. This is Charlene, the Crypto Queen, live on 99.1 FM, broadcasting out of Salt Lake City. But I'm actually live right now in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Real Vision Takeover hosted by Raul Paul. And Raul Paul is a really influential personality, really influential in the whole crypto space, in the Bitcoin space. He's an educator, he's a thought leader, he's one of the most next to what's his name? Next to Michael Taylor and all of those people up there, Raul Paul is definitely one of the gods of the crypto space. And he's hosting this Takeover event in Las Vegas this weekend. And we are here covering that, broadcasting live from Las Vegas for you. This is Charlene on the radio, live on 99.1 FM. Now, let me bring you a couple other things that I picked up from just listening to the speakers and getting connected with the messaging. If you really want to get into understanding where things are going, um, people tend to have an emotional attachment to cryptocurrency. They're not necessarily buying and selling because it's an asset or because it has an upside to it. A lot of people are emotionally vested into the Bitcoin, into the blockchain, into the cryptocurrency whole marketplace, into the community. And people are trying to figure out how to tokenize that emotional connection. It's kind of like when you have a Facebook. People are spending so much time in Facebook and having so many friends on Facebook, and Facebook turned out to be able to monetize those relationships that you're building with your network and the people and the friends you have. You've never monetized your Facebook relationships. Somebody else is monetizing the platform that you're on, the Twitter, the Google Meetup, the Facebook, the whatever network, Telegram, TikTok, whatever you're on. They're monetizing the relationships you're building. Now, what's going to happen in the blockchain space is that you will be able to monetize your own relationships. And we see that start happening as people get influential. They can make a post on their Twitter page or they can make a post on their TikTok account, and thousands of people will go and see it. And so advertisers want to put a message on that person's page so that you can see it and hopefully click and buy something from these advertisers. That's monetizing. Now, tokenizing is that you cannot just have advertisers sponsor you or pay to have their ads on your platform. You can actually now charge people to view your posts, charge people to or there's like the Brave browser that allows you to get paid for posting, for doing your own thing, taking sampling of music and recreating your own content creators, developers, and just people, creative people in general are learning. And now the opportunity is opening up. The fluidity in the technology space is allowing people to tokenize their own identity, to tokenize their own creativity. And that's what's the next big thing. If you want to know what the next big thing is how can you as an individual tokenize yourself, tokenize your talents. We've gone through the era where unions would represent you, and they would negotiate with a corporation for how much you should be paid and how much time off you should have. Well, we're now in an economy where you negotiate your own worth. What are you worth? What is your time worth? That's where things are heading, folks, where every single individual, if you wish to be a sovereign entity, if you wish to be an independent agent of yourself, a free agent, right? You can tokenize yourself, you can tokenize your thoughts, you can tokenize everything you create. If you want to bake cookies and you have your own recipe, you can tokenize that recipe. And now when you share a recipe on your page, people can contribute and pay you every time they make one cookie using your recipe. Things like that are happening, and the platforms are there. It's not just NFT making digital funny faces of dogs and cats and unicorns. Those are just the testing grounds, the sampling of the space and developing the platform so that in the future you're not going to see kitty cats and dog faces all over the metaverse anymore. You're going to see real things. You're going to see cookies and chocolates and shoes. I know a kid. He likes to take tennis shoes. He goes to the store and he buys, or his friends will buy a tennis shoes, and then he paints and he draws art on these tennis shoes, and so they're one of a kind. And I've been telling him, hey, come on, you need to take pictures of the tennis shoes that you're doing for these people. Not only you're going to get paid for doing the art on the physical shoe, but you can also get paid for the design in the digital space, and you can even get more customers that way. He hasn't quite caught on to that yet, but I think he will, because other people, when the funny thing is, I will tell someone to do something or tell someone this is a trend, this is where we need to go, and they won't listen to me for months or even years. And then somebody else tells them to do the same thing, and they'll be like, oh, you know what? Yes, now I'll do it. Well, folks, you don't have to wait for someone else to tell you. If Charlene mentions it, you know you need to get into it, because we're always at the forefront, the cutting edge of technology. This is your girl, Charlene, the crypto queen, on the radio. Text me if you want free Bitcoins or if you want free tickets to the Utah Bitcoin Conference coming up early in the spring at Utah Valley University. Oh, and by the way, here's the number. I'm going to say it slowly: 801 299 9105. 801 299 9105. That's the number you text if you want free Bitcoins. I have two favorite wallets that I love to promote, that I love for people to use, because they don't charge you to trade and buy or sell crypto. You can use their platform free of charge. If you put $100 in, you get $100 of value. They don't charge you any upside on that. They make their money different ways. And so those are the two wallets that I will send to everyone who texts me, and they will top you up with $25 each, so that you can make $50 off of me, guys, in Bitcoin. If you text me now, here's the number again: 801 299 9105. This is Charlene, broadcasting live on 99.1 FM. We are in Las Vegas, Sin City. Here we come. But we are not committing any crimes or any sins. Matter of fact, what happens in Vegas no longer stays in Vegas, because everyone's been tweeting and texting and posting and Snapchatting. So no longer is Vegas Secret staying in Vegas. But we're here at the Real Vision Takeover event. This is happening, folks. The takeover is here, and it's hosted by Raul Paul and his cohorts. And we have a lot of great speakers. I hear some celebrities, some other celebrities besides myself, are going to be here today, and I will bring you news about that and all the information coming out of that. The trend and topic that we're following is the tokenizing of culture, the tokenizing of relationships. We're tokenizing people, not like the days when we had slavery, when when you did not get a part of your worth. We're talking about you can tokenize yourself. You can claim your own worth, and that's the big thing coming out of the conference here so far. The other thing that it's easy to look back and see what has happened, but I want to focus on the future. My friend that I just met, Bill Kite, is with Kite BC. We met yesterday, and he's talking about how technology lowers the friction. Before you couldn't really get into technology, before you couldn't really get into financial investments, you couldn't build wealth the way the wealthy people were building wealth, were building their wealth. But now with the technology, with the digital marketplace, you can actually enter into that space, and we can mobilize a lot more people quicker. We're talking about a non-hierarchical society, a non-hierarchical form of leadership where nobody has to give you permission to lead. No one has to give you permission to create. You can go out and do that on your own. And that's bringing the power and the social capital and the value of culture in today's age. And everyone can participate. Not You don't have to be a Hollywood celebrity to get noticed or to make money off of your content. You don't have to go to a record producer, sing your song, put it on a CD, put it on a label in order to monetize or tokenize your creativity. You can pick up a microphone. If you have a cell phone, you basically have everything available to you to build your own wealth. We're no longer thinking about, or we have stepped away from the topic of taking wealth from the wealthy and redistributing that wealth to the poor. We are empowering the poor people to create their own wealth, to build their own future, to get into this shared economy. And that's what we're talking about, the non-hierarchical economy, that anybody at any level, any stage, at any country, any part of the world with access to the internet can now create their own wealth in many, many ways. We're talking about tokenizing good karma. Bill Kai, interviewed by Raul Paul yesterday, that was the topic, is tokenizing. If you're a good citizen, you can make money off of your good deeds. You don't have to wait till you get to heaven to be rewarded for your good deeds. You can get rewarded here, right here on earth. And matter of fact, right here in Las Vegas, you can be rewarded for being a good player, a very valuable player in the new shared economy in the digital space. And that's how we're changing the world, folks. And you can reward anything. One of the platforms, the reward for being a good community member is bananas. You get digital bananas for being a good citizen in that community. And some communities you get satoshis, some communities you get free bitcoins. If you post some of these new crypto coins when they launch, they give away. If you like their post, or you like their website, or you share their messages, they will reward you with tokens and coins. So anybody can participate. And like for myself, I have about 16 wallets on my phone, because what I do is I take all the promotions, and maybe one day I'll be wealthy, but not yet. But the point is, I'm collecting bananas, I'm collecting tokens, I'm collecting coins, and I'm trying to be a good citizen. Don't talk to the police, they'll tell you otherwise. They got my number. But this is Charlene, live on 99.1 FM. I'm broadcasting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but our station is in Salt Lake City, Utah. Drove down here to really get a seat at the feet of these really innovative people, innovative speakers, bringing you the news, the views, and the technologies that's going to influence the future. If you want some free Bitcoins, and if you've never had some Bitcoins, if you don't have any Bitcoins, and even if you have $1 million or $1 billion in Bitcoins, there's always no end to getting more, or no resistance to getting more Bitcoins. Text me and I'll send you from my favorite wallet some top up on the Bitcoin. The number to text is 801 299 9105. This is Charlene. Again, 801 299 9105. And when you text me your name as well. If you don't text me your name, then I'll text you back and ask you for your name. But if your number is not in my cell phone, you're not going to get the free Bitcoins. And I've got two wallets, and that's $25 each. So you can make $50 off of me today by texting my number 801 299 9105. I cannot give out the names of the wallets over the air. So you have to text me. That's why I tell you to text me, because I cannot give out the name of the wallets over the air. I've got to do that at an individual basis. So we're going to be covering the takeover event, the crypto takeover, the blockchain takeover, the Bitcoin takeover, the tokenization takeover from Las Vegas, bringing that to you intermittently throughout this weekend as we cover this event. But one of the things that really fascinated me is about the culture becoming an asset. Bill Kai talked about that. He's with Kite VC, how you can now use the culture. If you have a culture that people want to gravitate to, like I was born and raised in the country of Jamaica, where everyone loves reggae, and that's a big culture. Everyone loves the jerk chicken. Everyone loves the white sand beaches. Now, how can you tokenize your culture? We've already made reggae music at international, no matter what island you go on in the world. If you go to Thailand and you're on an island, guess what music they're playing? Reggae music. If you go to Hawaii, we moved to Hawaii, and when I first got off the airplane in Hawaii, I didn't hear Hawaiian music. I heard reggae music. The Hawaiian people, or the culture in Hawaii, has kind of merged with the reggae culture. People are bumping dreadlocks, and they're bumping to Bob Marley, and they've got the red, green, and gold. The Rastafari culture has evolved, and everybody's adopting that. If you listen to Spanish music, if you listen to Hispanic music or Latin music, they've now merged those Latin beats with the reggae beat. Now you have reggaeton. So people are already been monetizing on other people's culture. What do you have to offer that you can tokenize, that you can monetize? That's where we're heading, folks. If you're not part of the movement, if you're not involved, if you're sitting there wondering how can you participate, just pick up your phone, look at the screen, go to my website, iheartcharlene.com, or get some free tickets to the next Utah Bitcoin conference at the Utah Valley University, where I will be teaching a blockchain basics and Bitcoin basics class in January semester. It goes for the whole semester. You don't have to take all the classes, you can take one class. So go ahead and sign up for the Bitcoin basics class, and I'll see you in the classroom or on the screen. My number again, 801 299 9105. Charlene, 99.1 FM, live from Las Vegas. See you soon.